And week 5 continues, or no, actually begins. Where am I off to now? Let's go find out. Okay, so we started the venture off, but I want to let you know, so last video that you watched actually didn't have a lot of attractions, but that's because I didn't find a lot on that way that were particular other than the ones I posted. But there are a ton going forward. And so the videos going forward are going to have a lot to show. Definitely. So I'm in Dalhousie, New Brunswick. And I wanted to show that this is a sundial. And that's a lighthouse. Now there's a million lighthouses all along the coast, but I'm not going to do them all. I just wanted to do one. And this is the Bay of Chaleur. So going down to the left, you'll end up in Campbellton. And I call it a shore, they're going to call it a bay. But it's absolutely beautiful here. Again, I am impressed with the drive. So I am at the Joquette River Gorge. And this is Paul's Lookout. So this is actually the River Gorge. It's actually really beautiful here. Right. There, of course, is the river. All the way down there. And another stop here in New Brunswick, just outside of Bathurst. This is called Pokeshaw Rock. Look at all the birds that are on top of there. Double-crested cormorants are supposed to be there. Right. Okay, so I am in the historic Acadian Village. It's a park here in New Brunswick. And this is just one small part of the trail. But the whole trail here is almost 2 kilometers long and varying in history. And when you start off to the right of it, you actually end up with the oldest time. And as you go around the loop, you get to the newest time. Okay, so I left the 1800s and now I'm going into the 20th century, the 1900s. So you heard me in my last video complain that I never got to find a covered bridge. Guess what? So I'm still here in that Acadian historic village, and I get to go over top of a covered bridge. Man, you're coming with me. Whee! We're going. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. And we are through. And so now we are into the 20th century of the historic Acadian village. So for you guys that don't know, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia at one time was ruled by French. And then the British took over, kicked all the French out. And the French that were in this area were called Acadians. Very similar culture and history to those of the people in Louisiana. Because after the purchase, many of those people in Louisiana came here. But, except for Albert, the Caisse Populaire d'Avis, so, you know, the credit union, the journal store, somebody's house. And like I said, so this is the 20th century of this historic Acadian village. So I was stopping for a lunch at this little cafe. It's a canteen. Cafe for us in English, I guess, but yeah. The one thing I wanted to say is that all the way through this region of New Brunswick, I saw a French flag, not a Quebec flag, but a France flag at first, and then I saw one blow. And it's a really cool flag with a gold star on the top of the blue corner. And I'm like, that must be an Acadian flag. But I'm going to research it and I'm going to post a picture here if it actually is. I'm hoping it is. But I did talk to a lady here at the canteen who talked about, so the French here is not Quebecois French. And the dialect is actually a bit different. And they are more proudly French than Quebec. So, okay, it's gonna get a little noisy here, but I had to stop at this old McDonald farm, and I had to do that. I'm not actually gonna go into it. Little shack there, and then it's in behind there. But I had to stop because old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. I'm at a place at a Mirachi. I'm gonna say that. A place called French Fort Code, and it's actually a little historical point, but at the same time, it's a playground. They have zip lines up there. You guys are good, don't worry. It is a quite little spot. It's got a actually big playground and washrooms and kayak rentals. So, this is where I'm camping for the night. It's a nice beach here, and actually can go swimming. On point, way over there, and you can't see it, is the Confederation Bridge. Yay. It's actually nice here, quiet. There are some local people, they're friendly. Unfortunately, there are quite a few mosquitoes. Not that bad as some other times, but... Okay, so, that's my New Brunswick. Tomorrow morning I'm crossing over to PEI. I took 10 hours to do almost 11 hours to do a 3-hour and 20-minute drive to this place where I am. And it was a very beautiful drive. Not as much shoreline as I would have wanted, but it was a compromise. Either go to some of these places or do the shoreline. And we've seen quite a bit of shoreline. It's not that much different. So, I did enjoy the Acadia area. It is kind of cool to see all that and talk to those people. It was awesome. But tomorrow brings a new day. Here we come. Leaving New Brunswick. And here is the Confederation Bridge. Wait till I get to the other side. And here is the hump. It's in the middle of the bridge where all the ships had to go up and down. We're getting closer to PEI. So, woke up this morning and I didn't do my morning chat when I woke up because, my gosh, the mosquitoes are huge here. Lots. Anyway, rushed into the car, unpacked the kit, going, headed across the Confederation Bridge, which you saw already. Right? And guess where? PEI. I am here. Had to go through the screening place. They actually did a COVID test on me. I get results back in a couple of hours saying no, we're no. I'm pretty sure we're no. But let's start our adventure on PEI. So I am at Marine Railway Park, and that is the Confederation Bridge. So it's right here below the Confederation Bridge. That's a monument to those lost at in the bay. And boys, of course, the lighthouse, which you've had the privilege of seeing. But the reason why this is a historical park is because that used to be where the ferries went. And when they built the bridge, they no longer needed the ferries, so there's no more ferries there. There is actually a little train station here, which is closed at the moment because it's way too early in the morning. But as a historical one. But that's my beginning of PEI. I am at the International Children's Memorial. And that is Roger's house. I'm not quite sure because there's nobody here. I'm way too early what Roger's house was. But this is actually a big pond area with walking trails. And there are some festival buildings and a garden over there. But it's a beautiful spot. And so far, this was 12 minutes away from Confederation Bridge. My trip here to PEI might be a little bit shorter than I thought it might be, considering how things are so close, but let's go find out. Cavendish Farms. We all know that that's a potato company because we know about their french fries. This is just a storage, but Cavendish Farms. I am at the Canadian Potato Museum, home of the world famous Prince Edward Island potatoes. Let's go inside. So, this is the beginning of the Potato Museum, and there are two museums in here. We're going to go and see both. I'm just going to take little shots in here while I'm here. This is a tractor that they use to actually lift the potatoes out of the ground. This is a wall of all the different enemies of the potato. Pretty cool. This is a wall of the different types of potatoes that there actually are. And you know, other than the red potato, all the rest of these names here, I don't even recognize. Those were the original potatoes. These have been the ones that have been upgraded. And I can recognize like Yukon Gold, Caribou. The Russet. The Avon, the Sable. Definitely good name. Here we are in the back of the museum, and this is a room filled with antique farming equipment. Then they've replicated a blacksmith shop. Here we are, blacksmith shop. Making it signs, cool. Here they have a carriage shop. So replicating what it would be like when they were building carriages for way back when, of course. Well, let's talk about an old tractor. Definitely an old tractor, wow. Now we're entering the O'Leary Community Museum. Let's go in and find out. And I remember those phones when I was a kid. Okay, no, I'm not that old, but again, I remember that bedroom when I was a kid. Okay, again, still not that old. Okay, I had a record player like that. I honestly did. And I remember watching TV on a TV like that when I was little. And I'm going to end up in one of those one day. Hopefully not that bad. Something I have not seen since I was a kid. An old iron lung. And the old doctor's office. That might be him. I have never seen these hand wave automatic door openers. Love them. I am at the Stompin' Tom Center. And for you guys who don't know what Stompin' Tom is, he was a famous Canadian artist. And let's go into the museum. The little museum here for Stompin' Tom. Right. A little bit of a history of him. Alright, his old outfit on the road. His different plaques. And Stompin' Tom's old schoolhouse at Skinner's Pond. Let's see, we'll go inside. So, this is the old inside of the schoolhouse for Stompin' Tom. Still at the Stompin' Tom Center, and they have lobster roll. And I've been told that I have to try one, so this will be my first PEI lobster roll. I am at the Prince Edward Island Shellfish Museum. Let's go inside. Inside the Shellfish Museum. Yay! And the back room. There is an upstairs here, but I cannot make it, as you guys know, so. I never knew that squid and octopus were part of the mollusk family. Did you learn something new? See, there's a good reason why I stopped at this museum. So, I'm at another place, the Shipbuilding Museum and Historic Yule House, which I'm assuming is that building up there. Alright, let's go inside. So the shipbuilding place really wasn't anything, just the history of the Yule family. Wasn't really interested in spending the money to continue with that. So, but I moved on. I am at the Acadian Museum, and I'm looking forward to this one. So, we are inside the Acadian, the island Acadians, the story of the people. Let's go explore it. So, for you that didn't know history, the Acadians have been here since 1604, roughly, and they were all around the Bay of Fundy. And then the Treaty of 1713 forced Acadia over to Great Britain, and then in 1755 they were deported out throughout the rest of the Atlantic seaboard for the most part. And in 1720, a small number of Acadian families had moved to Ile Saint-Jean, which was still under French control, and they were later joined by many others, especially in the 7 years that preceded the expulsion of 1755. So, Prince Edward Island was originally called Ile Saint-Jean, or the Isle of St. John. So when the British took over the island, they forced the Acadians to be tenants, and that caused hardships among them. Despite everything ago, the Acadians did obtain the proper titles to their lands, but it took time. So in 1860, there were well-educated Acadians by this point who had desired to want to be at the same class as English, so they raised themselves up, built companies, and became at par between 1860 and 1930, which made them prominent in PEI. They also fought to preserve their French education in schools. 1860, they tried to change the rules to English, but these guys fought. So, we've seen pictures of the Acadian flag. I was curious about that. That is their flag. They also have the melody of the hymn Ave Maria Stella, and that's the Acadian national anthem. The room on the other side actually has a room of portraits of famous Acadian people throughout their time. And there they are. So, I'm in a town called Kingston, and just right on the outskirts of this town was the Cavendish potato plant. I'm going to say it's the plant because as I drove by, you could smell the potatoes cooking. Kind of cool. And in Kingston, they have this place called the Haunted Mansion. Now, I don't have an urge to go inside because I'm not into amusement things, but it kind of looks cool. I went online and looked at the website for this, hauntedhousepei.ca. Just check it out. I am at Cabot Beach Provincial Park, and that's out looking the Gulf. We are on the Gulf side of the island. It's not bad with tax and everything. It was $37 for the night. There are the other side of the sound. This is a bay here actually. Massapee Bay. It's a famous oyster bay, just to let you know that. We're going to spend the night here. Okay, so end of day one on PEI. Just to let you know, guys, I did the north side first. I am now smack dab in the middle of PEI. So tomorrow I'm going to do the south side, more central south side. I figure I should finish everything tomorrow and then on to Nova Scotia. But to let you know, if you're going to do the island, you truthfully shouldn't. There's a main highway that goes straight up the middle. Don't take that one. On the New Brunswick side was Highway 14 that goes on the shore. Sure, it's only 80 kilometers an hour, but beautiful, beautiful sights all the way up. And almost everything that I saw was either on Highway 4 on the way, 14 on the way up, or Highway 12 on the Gulf side on the way down. The other thing is people here are super friendly. Apps, and somebody told me that, but everybody today was awesome, talked, gave me hints about things, where to go. The other thing is people are not as much in a rush here, so if you're on any of the highways and somebody's actually doing 80 and a 90 or 70 and this 80, that's not uncommon here. People are chilled. Anyway, I'm out for the night. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm in a place, and I'm in Cavendish, and I'm in a place called Avonlea Village, this is supposed to be somewhat of a replica. But the truth, it's a tourist body. And all these little buildings have restaurants in them. And this is the back half of that little village. No, like I said, tons of little shops. This cute little place though. I'm at the Green Gables Heritage Place Museum thing, and I'm gonna go inside. So this is the exhibit on Ellen Montgomery, the woman who wrote Anne of Green Gables. A little bit of history of her here. Yay! Inside the Green Gables house. Yay! Down there is a trail front for called Lover's Lane. These are the washrooms. That building is the granary building, and then there is the barn. Yay! So, I'm at the Car Life Museum here in PEI, and I drive in, and here is an El Camino. Oh my gosh, Norm, my buddy, you would love this. Look at the Dodge over there. Oh. So let's go inside. Model T Ford truck. A wicker brochure. Oof. This is just a hint of what is in here. 1969 Cougar RX-7 convertible. That is a Barracuda. 1976 Vega station wagon. Okay, I rebuilt a few Vegas, but I have never seen a Vega station wagon. Now, here is a row of old cars. And a bit more. Anybody for a Thunderbird? Wow. 59 Cadillac Vivid. Wow. I am in Charlottetown. Beautiful Charlottetown, and I am in Victoria Park, which is right down on the edge of the water, just not far from the downtown area. And this place is called the Prince Edward Battery. Obviously a protective ground for Charlottetown. So not much many of you know though. Just taking a view around here. Charlottetown was the birth of Confederation for Canada, because this is where we signed it. I'm at this little place called Knox Dam. It's an old style dam way down the river. Okay. So I don't know if you can hear me as I do this, but this is part of the ductwork. A floodway, I don't know what they call these things, but I'm guessing this allows fish to swim up the river to bypass the dam. So, that is done. I am in a hotel in Moncton, New Brunswick now. I went from one tip of PEI, following one coastline up, and then I came all the way back on the Gulf side, and came all the way back and up through. Well, kind of zigzag a little bit on the south part. But that was PEI done. And I did the whole circle of PEI with about 3/4 of a tank of gas. Well, I gotta remember I have a Toyota Prius though. But what I wanted to do was talk to you guys. I'm ending the trip. At this point. That doesn't mean that I'm not going to continue any more adventures this summer, but I found some things out in this last week. Ever since I was in Appleton, started to feel something, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. And then last night it kind of hit an epicenter, and I spent pretty well most of the day depressed. Did a lot of thinking as I was driving today and going around. Didn't want to leave my campground this morning. I didn't want to actually go anywhere today. Forced myself to. So what I learned about me is I'm a people person. I truthfully don't like to spend long periods alone. And at home, I've got my friends. I can go for lunch. I can go for thing, hang with my dogs. But when you're on the road, sure, you'll talk to people, but it's not like you have somebody spend an evening sitting at your picnic table. And so for the last 3 nights of my trip, I started feeling it, and like I said, last night it just clicked, and the depression today, and I'm like, I don't think at that this point right now in my life, I want to continue doing Nova Scotia and Newfoundland because, oh, sure, I guarantee you I can fight through this, but if I was on this road with somebody and sharing the trip, I wouldn't have any issues. But it really bugged me, and if I continue and I try pushing it, I don't want to know where that'll go. So the truth is, I am on my way back to home. I'm not making any stops on the way. I'm not doing any shows, no nothing. I'm just going home. And by the time this video is up, I will be home. So bear with me, guys. I know I've got more adventures coming up in a few weeks. I know I'm at least off to Winnipeg. And it's a good possibility that I'm going all the way to BC, but I'm going to be sharing those trips with somebody. So look forward to those. In the meantime, guys, thank you for putting up with me with these videos. Thanks for sharing my adventures with these. I also want to let you guys know PEI, my absolute favorite province so far. Absolutely. In my town, if I go to a store, 1 out of every 3 people will respond when I say, "Hi, have a good day." In PEI, every single person behind the counter, no matter where I went, said hi and had a conversation with me. I was at one store where there was a lineup of people, and the person behind the counter spent about 5 minutes telling me a bit about her story. So people are so friendly here. Like you walk by somebody, everybody says good morning to you. Yeah, PEI is awesome. Don't get me wrong, New Brunswick's pretty good too, but PEI outdoes them just a little bit. And remember, it's a lax province. So guys, like, share my video. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. Hit the notification bell right beside it because I will be putting more videos. So thanks, guys. Remember, life's too short. Get out there, have fun, get to it.